competition. Dominique Dawes leads the women's all-around competition. Next up is Heidi Hornbeek. She lives here in Phoenix, and we asked her if stepping up to an elite level of gymnastics has changed her in any way.
I used to just think of gymnastics as going and competing, getting nervous, and then doing your stuff, and now it's fun to go out there and compete in front of all those people.
How does it feel to compete among the very best and do well?
It's kind of awkward because I never thought of being up there, and I always thought of just, you know, being a local kid doing gymnastics and going to state meets and stuff.
Well, you can see her concentration is complete. There's certainly a large applause for the local favorite in the floor exercise.
She dropped from 3rd to 4th in the all-around in the last event when she fell off the balance beam. So I think she has a little added incentive here on her last event. She opens with a piked, full twisting double back. Very nicely done. You can see her toes are not quite pointed all the way and her legs aren't completely straight. She really needs to work on the clarity of her movement. Another pike double back. You know, she was really working on these landings, something that was not her strength in the past. See right there where her ankles kind of fall over a little bit. She just needs to work the strength of her feet. Here comes her final tumbling run. It's a double back again, but this time in tucked position. Oh, the best landing of them all.
And a grand finish and great applause from the local crowd. Very supportive for Heidi Hornbeek at 15 years of age. Her father's a detective on the local police force.
This was very good for Heidi's confidence after falling on the balance beam to come back very strong on the floor exercise and particularly work on an area that she's had trouble with in the past, and that's the landing. She does this piked, full twisting double back. Now watch how she sets it in perfectly. She usually bounces a little bit on the landing, so all the work is certainly paying off.
Well, Heidi's done well in a couple of events earlier, and here she turns in a great performance to close out her contest. 9.90, the marks for the floor exercise on Heidi Hornbeek. Next up is the top athlete from Japan, Rie Ozawa, who's tied for 5th going into the final event.
This is one of the better choreographed routines in the competition. It works very well to the music. Unfortunately, she's not a real strong tumbler. She does a front flip through to a pike double back for her first pass. Great landing. It's a little combination that I like.
It's a good point, Kathy. Although her tumbling isn't anywhere near what we saw from Heidi Hornbeek, her technique and her presentation is quite good. Her middle tumbling pass is a whip back. You'll see right here through to a double twist. Now normally we see double backs there or even full twisting double backs, so the difficulty really is not present in this routine. She actually looks a bit sluggish here. You notice she was having trouble on the lead. She doesn't quite have the energy she should at this point in the routine, particularly if you want to finish with a difficult pass. Her final tumbling run is a pike double back. Oh, and no lift at all.
Rie Ozawa,
I was afraid that would happen. She did not look like she had the energy halfway through her routine to finish strongly. And I knew she was planning to finish with a very difficult pass for her.
A really weak takeoff. Oh, man. Luckily, she's okay.
Well, a big disappointment for Rio Ozawa. Her final mark's 9.0. Next up is Kristen McDermott from the United States at 14 years of age. She's been a quiet, solid performer throughout this competition.
This is a highly energetic routine, and she is a super tumbler. Very difficult tumbling runs. The first being a whip back right there, through to a full twisting double back.
Talk about a contrast in energy. She looks like she could go all day.
Two whip backs through to a tuck double back. She can really pull out the landings. Like Heidi, she needs to work on the clarity of her routine as well. Really finishing every movement, polishing every skill. Right there, the toes should really be pointed, the legs locked out. She finishes with a tuck double back. Excellent work. She has had a great competition.
One of the most consistent performers on the U.S. squad. She's also the smallest athlete on this year's women's team, and certainly a candidate for the all-around title. We'll be back with more. Her floor exercise, she received a 9.90. This is Japan's Hitomi Sakai. We saw her on the beam. She's getting ready for her final event of the day, the floor exercise.
And she is the strongest tumbler on the Japanese team. She opens with a full twisting double back. It's a very unusual technique. Most of the gymnasts do the full twist on the first somersault. She does half on the first, half on the second. Her choreography is not up to the level of her tumbling, however. Here's her middle pass. It's a front flip through to a double back. The judges really look for a more aggressive landing after those tumbling passes. You can see she takes little tiny steps rather than really sticking it. Final tumbling run is a double back. Good height, but lands short. She pulled out a little too soon. And I said the main commentary here on this routine is that her choreography or the composition was really not unique. There was nothing special in it, and her tumbling, the level of difficulty is really just enough.
As you mentioned, Kathy, this is the full twisting double back. It does look like a half in the first flip and a half out in the second flip. That was certainly the best part of the routine.
And so the 17-year-old Hitomi Sakai gets a 9.70 on the floor exercise. That's the best mark received for a Japanese gymnast in the floor X. Now here is Dominique Dawes, the performance we've all been waiting for. She needs better than a 9.4 to win the all-around title, but many people expect much, much more.
This could very well be the highlight of the entire competition. Watch the speed and power in her tumbling. It's just amazing. Here's the whip back right there, through to a full twisting double back. What's great is she just turns on. Face lights up.
Yeah, the difference is unmistakable.
This is a great pass. Two whip backs to a double twist, and she's not done yet. Three back handsprings here to a double back.
And the crowd just roars its approval.
That's what the judges look for in the leaps. Complete split in the air, amplitude. Nice change of pace. And she finishes with a pike double back. She can see if she can come up with another good landing. And she does.
A fantastic performance. Dominique Dawes brings the crowd to their feet. And once again, Coach Hill is over there with the congratulations. For good reason, a great show. Everybody's making their way over to congratulate Dominique Dawes on a fantastic performance. And the marks are out. It's a 10. It's a perfect performance. It's a 10 for Dominique Dawes. What a thrill to end off the competition with that great score. 3 great achievements in a single performance. A perfect 10 in the event, all-around championship, and the team title for the United States.
And this is easily the most interesting pass we've seen all day. Watch what she does here. 2 whipbacks in a row. She'll continue through to a double twist. And then she'll do a punch front and then step out and continue back.
Now you'll see right here she over-rotated that front and her feet kind of slipped out from under her. Normally she only does 2 back handsprings. She added the 3rd so she could gain enough momentum to do the double back. That is important in terms of her ability as a competitor to be able to think that fast.
A lot of savvy from a 15-year-old. It's exciting to think what great performances lie in store in her near future. And so it should come as no surprise that the American women beat the ladies from Japan rather easily. Dominique Dawes wins the all-around competition. And we've seen some great gymnastics here in Phoenix. A perfect 10 on the floor exercise. The American men defeating a higher-ranked Japanese men's team. The women continue to be on a roll thanks to these young and new exciting faces. So for my partners Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson, this is John Neighbors saying so long from Phoenix, Arizona, on the 1992 Dodge Challenge.
Frank Gifford again from New York. We hope you've enjoyed our day. A reminder.
And the agony of defeat.